All right, today I am working on video 4 for the female purple martin. I have done the majority of my shaping of the bird, and now I'm ready to go ahead and hollow it out. The reason we hollow out before any fine details is because you are going to be distorting the surface area to be able to hollow it out. So the tool that you need for today is just a wire tool. I wouldn't use a knife or anything like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slice her right in half. Try to go all the way down. And then I am going to get a ribbon tool, that's the one tool I didn't get. All right, so this tool is going to be an excellent tool for hollowing out your sculpture. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try not to distort any of the edges. And as you can see, right when I went in there, I went right through the edge. I'm trying not to do that. I happen to have grabbed one that's a little bit loose, so it's not really going to be a nice, smooth transition. It might be better to have a different ribbon tool. But for the demonstration, I'll go ahead and continue. What I'm going for is 1/4 of an inch around the edges, okay? And then I'm taking this tool and I'm just hollowing out as much of that area inside as I can without going through. Yeah, I probably should have had a different ribbon tool. One of my sharper ones. This is what a Monday morning demonstration looks like. A little bit unplanned. Henry, will you grab one of the ribbon tools from the top of the cart? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. This ribbon tool is going to work a little bit better because it's a little bit sharper. So it's going to pull off ribbons a little bit easier. Usually the other one is all I need, but it's a little loose. Somebody's probably been a little rough with it. All right, so what I'm doing is I am hollowing out from the inside. Does the inside need to be perfect? Really, no. Nobody's going to see it. You're going to be closing it up eventually. So what you want to be able to do is at least get to 1/4 of an inch walls. As I'm holding it in my hands, I'm trying to be mindful that I don't go through the clay. And I'm just making myself a little hole here. And I'm also trying really hard not to distort the edges. Now, I personally will go in and smooth out the inside of my clay. That's just me. There's many people that won't spend the time to do that. And that's just fine. But I do, because I know that it makes me feel like that's like making it look a little bit more complete, even though nobody's going to see the inside. So I'm just going to take my hands and I'm going to smooth it out in there. Okay. Now I also need to get up into the head area, so right now I've only gotten into this area right about here. So what I'm going to do is just take that tool and very close, watch from the side as I go in. And I'm not really going sideways so much, more or less going straight down. And so from what you can see, there you go. Now you can see the inside. So I didn't have to do a whole lot of hollowing for the head there. And I'm just getting it started. I am going to hollow just a little bit more. But the idea is to be able to make sure that it doesn't have a giant mass of clay at the bottom as well. Okay, so now on the inside, you'll be able to see all the way down into the head. And now I'm just going to smooth out, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, but I'm just smoothing out the inside just a bit. Just a little bit. Okay. Now this top edge right here, see all these crumbles? We're going to smooth that out. When I'm ready to join the pieces back together, this is going to be an important part to make sure I have kept fairly nice. I'm not trying to have a bunch of crumbles on the top there. All right, so now that part is done. Now I have the bottom half here. So I haven't really finished the bottom by any means, like that tail feather. Really all I have done is gotten the basic shape of the bird down. So now I'm going to go ahead and hollow all the way down. Pull off little clumps at a time. Sometimes it's helpful to draw with your tool to kind of give yourself an edge. And I keep distorting my edge. That's okay. It's just a piece of clay. I can fix it. But I'm trying not to distort this edge right here. And that's exactly what I just did. But, you know, as an art teacher, it's important to also show you guys how to fix when you make mistakes. When you're using this tool, it's not the easiest to like be precise, so to speak. So it was really easy for me to accidentally distort my edge. But like I said, that's not a big deal. Right now, what I'm going to do is just use this tool to pull out some of that clay, and it does keep distorting that edge, but I can fix it. But I'm trying to be careful. I try. Take all that clay and set it in a pile. This is the best way to build sculptures, in my opinion, is to shape and do all of the main work before you hollow it out, as opposed to building with, say, pinch pots. I just find this to be the way that works best for me. Lots of different teachers and ceramic artists have different methods. This is just one. Right now, I'm getting near to the little tail area. I'm still going to hollow out the tail area, but I'm being real mindful that I don't go too deep. And if I do, if I accidentally make a hole, I can fix it. It's just a piece of clay. And clay, I think, is one of the most forgiving mediums that you can work with. When you work with paint and drawing and all of those things, I feel like it's a little bit harder to fix mistakes. Pull out any of those extra pieces there. You definitely don't want to leave any crumbles on the inside. Okay, because what happens is if you leave little crumbles on the inside, let's say it gets fired and there's a crumble and it does come loose. Let's say I left this little piece in there. It's not attached to anything. If I fire it, there's a good chance it's going to come loose, and then it's going to become a rattle on the inside. And for me, that's not what I want. So working on the inside, I'm right about here on the inside, and I'm going to go down just a little bit further. I guess a rule of the sculpting is you really want to make sure you have a thickness of no more than 3/4 of an inch. And I'd say that that tail area is definitely 3/4 of an inch. Just for insurance, I'm going to go ahead and hollow out as much as I can. Why? Because it doesn't hurt to do it. I'm basically just sticking the tool in and pulling just a very little out of there. And now I'm just kind of cleaning up those edges or smoothing them out. Pull some extra pieces out. Clean out my tool so I can get to the bottom and get the remainder out. Okay. All right, next video we'll begin joining the pieces back together. So for right now, I'm just gonna kind of hold them up. This is what your pieces are gonna look like before you join them back together. So he's hollowed out, and now I want to bring it back together, and then I can begin my fine detail.